Hey everyone, this is Bridget, and today I wanted to talk to you about my sober DMT trips. I've never really told you, and I feel like it's really significant because so many of us in this community want to just completely get blasted! And there's ways to do it without actually taking psychedelics. And so I want to tell you about some of my experiences. So both of these actually happened in 2013. The first one happened in this place called Angel Valley in Sedona, and that's where I am right now. As you can see, this is the first snow of winter in Sedona, and actually it only snows like once, so this is a really special occasion. That's why I'm filming. Okay, so the first one is in 2013 in Sedona. And I was at Angel Valley for this contact meditation that Bashar was putting on, and done tons of Bashar meditations, done tons of different kinds of guided meditations in my life, and I didn't think this would be any different. So we get into the labyrinth that is at Angel Valley, and it's amazing. It was actually created to be a contact site for Bashar's ship to land. So it has a lot of energy, and Angel Valley itself has tons of extraterrestrial energy. So the ground was set for something interesting to happen. So what we do is we just started. It's just a group of people, nighttime contact meditation, and in the meditation, Bashar said, connect your pineal gland with my ship, which is above Sedona. So I'm like, okay, shift my consciousness, connect my pineal gland with Bashar's ship. All right, ready to go. And I just, thought this would be a nice little meditation. Lo and behold, within a few seconds, all of a sudden, I am completely gone. I am, hysterically bawling and completely sent into many dimensions at once. I was absolutely blasted to contact, the moment when contact occurs in Sedona, when it occurs in Moab by Upheaval Dome. And I was experiencing them both simultaneously. I was experiencing the contact with the hybrid kids. I was experiencing myself as all these different extraterrestrials simultaneously. And all of this was happening at once, and it was so incredibly intense and amazing. And I couldn't even take it in. It was so much. And it lasted for about 12 minutes, something like that. And then came back in, meditation ended, and all of a sudden I'm looking around and everyone's quiet except for me, and I'm like snuffing, like all this snot coming out and just like bawling at the ecstasy of what I had just experienced, just completely unlike anything I had ever experienced before. I was like, holy crap. And after that experience, actually, which was even more interesting, is I felt this alien energy in me. Like one of my counterparts had activated, because as we create more contact within ourselves, our own galactic federation comes to light inside of us. It activates inside of us. So one of these beings was activated within me, my own genetics, and I felt, it was like I was embodied by it, embodying it, and it was incredible, and my hands were like pulsing this particular energy. It was very interesting, and it wasn't going away, and I didn't need for it to. It was like the experience, this upgrade, this shift, this crazy experience I had just had, wanted to settle, wanted to ground, and I was like, all right, let's let it happen. So I did, and after a few hours, it finally settled down, and I finally could catch my breath and integrate. And I think it was the 2 mornings later, or maybe the next morning, that was the first time that my clairvoyance really popped on, and I saw one of the hybrid kids clairvoyantly. I was like, whoa, okay, so whatever this was amazing. So that was the first experience that I had. Now, after I tell you these 2 experiences, I'm going to bring in some correlations as well as ways that you can reach these states. Okay, so the second one, see if you can see what some of the tendencies are here that bring on these states. Second, I'm in Hawaii. I'm on Maui, and we're exploring the island, and we had just been to one of the properties that we eventually would like to procure for contact. and community, intentional community. And we had just been there, and then we were going to this secret waterfall that one of our friends was taking us to, and he's like, no one goes here, it's off the beaten path. Walked down to it, and something happened in me where I was just sent to this level of bliss and ecstasy and orgasm and giggling all at once. I just jumped in, and I was experiencing all those things at once, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what's in this water? It was pure mana. It was pure natural DMT, high levels of DMT. And I almost couldn't walk back. So this wasn't like a full experience or something. But that night when I went to bed, I just had so many visions, just like vision after vision after vision, of what I thought it seemed like what psychedelics would be like, these different colors and geometric patterns, etc., etc. And so I'm like, wow, that was interesting. But I didn't label it. So that was the second experience. So as I had these experiences, I'm like, these feel like some level of DMT is extra being released in my pineal gland, and that one with Bashar was like a for sure blast off. So I started going around saying this to a few of my friends. I was like, yeah, I've had these natural experiences. And they're like, yeah, but you've never done anything, so you don't actually know what it's like, so you can't compare. I'm like, shit, I can't. Even though I was like, no, I know this is just as significant as other people's experiences, no one believed me. So then I had to have a few of my own experiences with particular things to validate that it was DMT type experience. And after a few of those experiences now, I can truly say that it was a sober, naturally induced trip. And the reason that I'm saying this, again, is because I want you to know that you can do it on your own, and this can be developed. Any correlations, do you notice? One is this idea of being in a space, being in a place, a natural place that has high amounts of DMT, which most plants produce it. You know, it's natural in nature, but there's other places that have heightened amounts. So this waterfall in Maui had heightened amounts. So going to these sacred places that have these experiences possible will be one of the ways. Many of these places too, like Sedona, has intense amounts of scalar energy. It's a vortex, so it can enhance experiences. Now this can just create like better meditations, visions, crazy dreams, but it could do launch off connection as well. I think that it's important to decipher between this idea of needing to have these crazy experiences all the time, because once you do, you're just like, I need it again, and that's not actually what it's meant to do. It's supposed to be an experience that you go through, and then you integrate it, and then you apply it to your life and go forward in your next stage of personal development. So I have found a direct correlation between these experiences and living my passion. When I'm on my path, my higher self wants to reward me. And so there's a positive reinforcement for that, such as these experiences. So when I was totally doing what I was meant to be doing, these happened. Now, I've noticed that they happen at the beginning of people's awakening, the beginning of people's journeys, so that there's a boost, there's like a rocket launch to give you a reason and a carrot to continue going on. After we've done this for a while, it subsides. And I feel like that's because we're already doing what we need to do, so we might not need that extra juice to keep us going, because we have this momentum already built, which is okay, which is great. So just realizing that it's, again, the journey, not the destination, and taking it one day at a time. Embracing the simplicity, embracing when it is quiet, when it doesn't have to be extreme or intense. It can just be beautiful and pleasant, like this day and scenery right now, and letting that be okay too. And the more that that's okay, the more that these extreme experiences aren't needed, the more that they'll happen naturally, because it's that freedom, it's that letting go. Of course, you can ask extraterrestrials, benevolent ones, connect with the right energies, to connect in with your pineal gland and to work on that. Maybe that's something that they'll do for you, if that's something that you need to experience. So that's another way to achieve it as well. Personal development, key. actually doing meditation, doing a spiritual practice, having a spiritual discipline will lead to these experiences, and living in a slight DMT trip all the time, which is what my brother said when he came to visit, and he's a psychonaut. He said, he's like, Bridget, you guys are kind of weird. You like are, hippies, but you guys kind of live in a permanent, like, psychedelic trip. And I'm like, awesome. So part of it is it's just becoming a way of life, and you bump up to the next plateau of energy, understanding. And so when you do that, it's not going to be as crazy intense because the contrast isn't as big, because you've upped your game to a new level of vibration. So letting that be okay too, where it's just like you live in a higher state, and it's not as extreme of blasts. The last thing that I'll say is getting your body actually operating correctly, so that you're producing the proper amounts of these different kinds of hormones and chemicals like going on in your body. And if we're over estrogen, if we're toxified, if our pineal gland is calcified, we can't actually have these experiences that we naturally are meant to have. So make sure to detoxify your body so that it can do what it wants to do, which is experience amazing levels of consciousness. So those are some of my experiences. Of course, it's always important to realize that you can have these states. So I'm a proponent of going for it if you've never experienced some of these things before. Maybe if it needs to be done synthetically and working with different medicines, using your own consciousness to get to these states, because it's possible, and not relying on these other methods as an everyday form of ecstasy, but letting your life be that, and letting it be amazing and blissful, whatever it means. It might mean that you're sad. It might mean that nothing happens for 6 months. It might mean that you have lucid dreams every night. Can look like a lot of different things. So just letting yourself go with these different experiences and not labeling one as better because you blasted off or worse because you didn't. So those are some of my tips, and those are some of my experiences, and I haven't had a lot of those in a while at all. That was like 2013. Have I had other kinds of experiences, lots of crazy lucid dreams, stuff like that? Yeah, not all the time. But I'm dedicated to my path, and I'm just going to continue on it. And I know that that's going to have vast, beautiful, ecstatic rewards in the future. And it is right now, because right now I'm happy. And right now, look at this life. Look at this place. It's awesome. So just stick with that. Make your life something awesome that you can look forward to. Yeah. If you like videos like this, please like and subscribe and share. And I'll be back soon, actually from a very different location, with another video for you. Just wait. Bye-bye.